Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're going to dive into something really cool, unlocking the hidden power inside your data. We're going to learn how to find the story it's trying to tell.
You know that feeling, right? You're staring at a folder just packed with spreadsheets, and all you see is chaos. It's this mess of files, rows, columns. It's supposed to mean something, but it just gives you a headache.
I mean, look at this. You've probably got files with names exactly like these. Orders.csv, details.csv, pizza_types.csv, the list goes on. Each one has a tiny piece of the puzzle, but by themselves, they're just noise.
But what if, and this is the big question, what if you could turn all that chaos into pure clarity? And what if that clarity could be your next big career move? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about. We're going to see how a tool called Power BI takes that digital mess and turns it into a clear, actionable path forward.
So let's get into it. The first step is going from that raw data to these really rich visuals. I want you to think of your data like raw ingredients, right? Just a bunch of stuff on the counter. Power BI, well, that's the kitchen. It's where we cook it all up into something amazing that everyone can actually understand and use.
So, what exactly is Power BI? At its heart, it's a business intelligence tool from Microsoft, and its whole purpose in life is to take all that raw, disconnected data and transform it into these beautiful, interactive dashboards. The goal? To help you make smarter, way faster decisions.
Okay, but before we can start making those amazing dashboards, we have to do the prep work. You can't cook a gourmet meal in a messy kitchen, right? So the very first step is to take all that messy data and get it ready for analysis. We've got to transform the chaos.
And this transformation process is actually pretty straightforward. It boils down to three main steps. First, you connect to all those different data sources. Second, you clean it up. You handle all the messy bits. And finally, you shape it into a nice, clean, usable format.
And check this out. This is where the magic really happens. On the left, you see the before. It's a mess, right? You've got empty values, weird text, wrong data types. But on the right, that's the after. This is what happens when Power BI gets to work. It's clean, it's structured, and it's all ready to go. And a lot of this happens almost automatically.
All right, so our data's clean. That's a huge step. But now we've got a new challenge. We have all these clean, separate tables. We need to get them to talk to each other. We need to connect the dots. This is where the individual puzzle pieces start forming a complete picture.
And this really critical step has a name. It's called data modeling. Don't let the term scare you. It's just the process of building relationships between your different data tables so you can analyze them all together as one big happy family.
Here's a perfect, simple example. You've got a table of your customers, and you've got a table of all their orders. They both have a customer number column. By telling Power BI that these two columns are related, you create a link. And once that link is there, boom, you can suddenly ask questions you couldn't before, like, hey, what were the total sales for all my customers in France?
But wait, what if the number you really need, like total profit, isn't actually in any of your original files? That's where you get to use Power BI's superpower. It's a formula language called DAX. And DAX lets you create brand new calculations or measures to figure out things like profit, growth, or pretty much anything you can imagine. Okay, this is my favorite part. Our data is clean, it's connected, it's supercharged with DAX calculations. Now it's time for the grand finale. We're going to bring this story to life by creating the dashboard. And we can start simple. Just look at this bar chart. In literally 2 seconds, you can see which product lines are your top performers. Instantly, you know where your sales are coming from and maybe where you should focus your marketing budget. Or how about this? A donut chart. It might look simple, but it's telling us a huge story about our customer base. In a single glance, we know which countries our customers are coming from. That's a massive insight for thinking about your international strategy. And remember that total profit measure we created with DAX? Here it is. We can put it right up front in what's called a card visual. 3.83 million. It's big, it's bold, and it's the single most important number on this page. No way you can miss that.
But here's the absolute game changer. The real power is that this whole thing is interactive. You see that map? Imagine clicking on, say, Canada. And when you do, every single other chart on the page instantly updates to show you the data for just Canada. It goes from being a static picture to a living, breathing tool that you can explore.
So,
Okay, we went from messy spreadsheets to this incredible interactive dashboard. That's awesome. But let's talk about the big picture. Why does learning this skill matter so much for you and for your career?
It's simple, really. Companies everywhere, in every single industry, are desperate for people who can do this. Learning a tool like Power BI isn't just a nice-to-have. It's a key that unlocks doors to amazing, high-demand careers. Think data analyst, business analyst, BI developer, the list goes on.
Because at the end of the day, it's not really about making pretty charts. It's about something much bigger. It's about being the person who can look at all that data, find the signal in the noise, and turn it into real strategic decisions that actually help a business grow. So, you've seen how raw data can become powerful insight. Every single data set out there has a story just waiting to be told. So my question for you is, what story will yours tell?